this thing on? Oh yeah, we're rolling. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Monday Morning Coffee with the doll. That's me. This is my cat, Fiona. She's always in my business. She's my other little appendage. But we're back. We have coffee. We're here to chat. You know, I don't have any of my normal stuff that I do my videos with, so I'm kind of just raw shooting from my phone and uploading straight to YouTube. So no intro, nothing fancy. I mean, I'm using what I got. I'm not this professional YouTuber that has all this fancy shit. I'm using my Android LG V20. I don't know how I feel about my Android LG, I think that's what it's called. V20, something V20, I don't know. Smashed my Apple. It was not, it's not a proud moment. So we all kind of, let's talk about that. That's a good thing that we can talk about. Allowing somebody else to upset you so much that they can actually get you to do something that in the end only physically hurts you. And that could be a lot of things. Like, that could be a lot of things. That could be somebody telling you, you know, you're too fat all the damn time, to the point where mentally you start believing it, so you start doing things to physically change yourself to make this person happy because they were hurting you and they were bringing you down. So ultimately, they got in your head. They rented some space up there. They're not paying full rent. They're not good tenants. They're putting holes in the walls and shit. They're letting their dogs piss all over the carpet. They got a toddler that's running around with a fucking Sharpie. They are making themselves at home. So they get in there and they get in. And like, those stains, they're not just in the carpet. They're in the fucking pad underneath the carpet. That's how deep they are. And they start telling you all this shit about you to the point where you physically do something to alter your own life. So I recently was, well, I've talked to you guys about this. I'm in an argument with my mom, who I love very much, but we are at odds right now because I'm the type of person that is basically not who she wants me to be. And I guess it's kind of an unfair way to put it because she's my mom and she just wants what's best for me, and things like that. But like I said in my video last week, you can't always adjust who you are to make everybody in your life happy, even if it's your parents. At some point you have to live for yourself. And if you know that you're happy and healthy and strong and there's nothing negative in your life, nothing hurting you, you're not hurting yourself, sometimes you just have to say I love you, but unfortunately this isn't something that I'm going to let you control. So anyways, my mom had called me to talk to me about a situation that was happening, and I tried to keep my patience. Like, I knew we were going to argue about it. And, like, immediately, as soon as I pick up the phone, you know how moms are, where as soon as you're like, hey, let's talk about this. Oh, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you exactly. You know what, Emily Catherine? You know what? I'm so tired. Me and your dad are just so tired. You know, and then they start going, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to let her give me her side. And then I kept trying to be as patient as possible. Like, keep a cool tone. Don't yell. Don't cut her off. Don't argue. And I was doing really good for a long time until she brought something up about my ex-husband. And what she said was really unfair, because unfortunately when you come out of an abusive relationship, not everybody's going to know exactly what you went through, you know? So they say things that they don't realize are triggers because they can't grasp the severity of it. Their brains can't wrap around what you went through. And that's fine. I don't expect everybody to go, I know exactly how you feel, so let me baby you. Bitch, I don't need to be babied. I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. It's two different things. Two different things. A victim stays in that emotion, stays in that fear, stays in that place where their abuser puts them. A survivor has moved on and took back control. I'm here. I'm here. This is me. This is not me. This is me over here under this wing. So she didn't think about it. And I guess I could say it was also insensitive of her to even bring it up because it has nothing to do with anything. But she had said something and it just, I tried and I tried and I tried to just have a conversation. I desperately just wanted to have a fucking conversation with my mom. Like, that's it. I just wanted to say, look, Mom, this is how I feel about it. This is how you feel about it. Unfortunately, we don't agree. But we can be adults about it. There's some middle ground. There's got to be a way that we can come, you know, to an agreement here. But there was just no pleasing her. It was just a shitstorm of her yelling and yelling and yelling. And it got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. And she mentioned something that got into my head. And she's like, it hurt, I guess, is the hard thing, is that my mom said something about my past without even considering how it would affect me, and she just was like, blah, blah, blah. And I was just, you know what, like, fuck it, and I threw my iPhone across the showroom floor. I was also at work, which was even worse. Thankfully, it was just me and my boss. And he laughed at me the whole time. He thought it was hilarious. He thought that it was just the funniest thing to see me pissed off. But I shattered my phone. I didn't just shatter it. I bent the motherboard. Because my boyfriend was like, you don't need a new phone. We'll just go get your screen fixed. I've done this to tons of phones. And I was like, are you sure? Like, I cocked my arm back and threw it on the tile. Wasn't a proud moment. And he took it in. And they were like, dude, we can't fix this. She bent the motherboard. What? Fuck. Yes. Yes. There's not much going on here. It's kind of disappointing. Ooh. Yes. But anyway, you know, I let my mom get to me. Like, I could have just sat there and went, you know, this is your side. I understand. But I didn't. I had a moment, and I let her rent space in my head, and she got in there, and she ultimately got me to do something that only affected me. I could have hung up the phone, and she could have left with her feelings, I could have left with my feelings, and then we could have just gone on, but she got me to react in a way that fucked up my life for a while. It was inconvenient. It wasn't the biggest deal in the world not having a phone. But it was annoying, and when you have kids and you work all day, you need to be able to get a hold of the person who has your kids, and thankfully at the time it was just my boyfriend who had them 24/7, so I didn't have to worry about anything. When my boyfriend has them, I don't have to worry about who was going to pick Ben up from school, or if Charlie, you know, was taken care of. Everything was perfect. So from point A to point B until I got home, it really wasn't that big of a deal, but I mean, I do all my work on my phone, so ultimately she got me to react in a way that did something that only affected me. Didn't affect her. She still has her phone. She can do the shit that she needs to do, but for me, I had, and it affected my boyfriend too. Ultimately, my lashing out hurt me and I use that term loosely, hurt me from doing things and responsibilities like getting to my emails, my posts, photos, things like that. I lost a bunch of photos for a brand that I had taken them for. So, you know, ultimately it hurt me. It fucked my shit up. It didn't fuck her shit up. Fucked my shit up. Then my poor boyfriend had to go to all this trouble to get a new phone and get it sent here, and it was just this big pain in the ass. But this has nothing to do with a phone. Now I have an Android, and I'm getting used to it, and I'm shooting everything from it. It's alright. I like it. I mean, it's got great video quality, I think. Could be worse. Could be better. I'm sitting on my floor in my bedroom. This is my big-ass fan that cools my hot ass all night. Get it? Get it? But that's the important thing. That's what I'm trying to say, is that in that situation, it wasn't a big deal. In that situation, only a phone got broke. And my feelings got hurt, yes, and it's a much bigger issue with me and my mom that ultimately has been spiraling more and more out of control. And it sucks and it hurts because I love my mom, and unfortunately, I had to come to the grasp that we're never going to have that relationship where I can just say, you know, hey, this is what's going on, I need your help, because it'll always come with judgment. It will always come with whether or not God thinks that I'm going to hell for it, whether or not it's ladylike. You know, there's a lot of stipulations. I can't just say, hey, Mom, you know, I did this, this, and this, what's your opinion on it? And she doesn't just give me advice as woman to woman. It's got all of her beliefs and morals and everything like that. And that's fine. Everybody's entitled to those. But it's just not a relationship we can have anymore. Now that I am who I am, we don't mesh well. But I let her get into my head, and in the end, I had to suffer some pain in the ass, hoops to jump through, my boyfriend as well. And that's how it is in life. You can't let people rent space in your head about anything, because ultimately, whatever it is, it always just ends up hurting you. Or people around you that do love you. See, my boyfriend wanted to help me, and he loves me, and he wanted to make sure that I had a phone. You know, because I'm driving 45 minutes to work and 45 minutes home, and what if I get in an accident, and what if he needs to get a hold of me because somebody gets hurt, or we have to go to the hospital. You know, it's a big thing. It's one thing after the next. So he loves me, and he wanted to make sure I had a phone. And it's the same in other areas in your life. You know, there's a lot of relationships that struggle intimately because the male or the female in the relationship, or one partner or the other, I should say, whether it's female, female, male, 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 female, female, male, or lots in the pot together, and it's a party, there's like 20 people. I mean, I don't care, whatever your sexual orientation is. There's a lot of people whose intimacy struggles because they can't get over their own bodies. They can't accept their own bodies. So ultimately, you know, you got the girls who don't want to take their shirts off when they're having sex because somebody's made them self-conscious. Because she left the house in jeans and a crop top, and somebody told her she was too fat to wear a crop top. So now all of a sudden, she doesn't want to take her shirt off when she's with the one person that loves her no matter what. And it goes the same for guys. It's the same for guys, because guys go through the ringer as well. You're not built enough. If you don't look like Channing Tatum or whoever that one fucker is from Sons of Anarchy that the girls go gaga over, like, if you don't have that physique, then you're not sexy. If you have the dad bod, or you have a curvy bod. I mean, guys' bodies are the exact same way as girl bodies. They come in different variations, different sizes, different shapes, different muscle definition. So it's the same for that. And ultimately, you and your partner are suffering because somebody made you feel bad about yourself. So now your partner also has to go through those extra steps because they want you to know how beautiful you are and how beautiful they think you are. But all you can focus on is dickhead in room 203 on this side of your brain telling you that you're too fat to be in a swimsuit or in a crop top, and that's all that's replaying in your head. Meanwhile, he's who knows where, probably in his mom's basement, brushing Cheeto dust off his shirt. Not that that's a bad thing, I do it daily. But when you're in your mom's basement doing it at the same time and trolling, that's just too much. That's just too much. Too much sprinkles on the cake. You can either have lots of icing or lots of sprinkles. You can't have both. But this dick has already put that in your head. He's already rented space. But he doesn't even, he said it, he moved on with his life, and there you are, laying in bed, and you can't even connect with your partner anymore because all you can think of is how you're not good enough anymore. And we have to stop doing that. We have to stop letting people who, they're just passing through. Like I said, they're not good tenants. They're not long-term tenants. They're not tenants that can stay for a while and you're like, oh no, everything's gonna be cool. No, they're the tenants that you literally want to evict. Evict those bitches. Evict all the naysayers. Evict all the negative Nancys. Get those bitches out of room 203, 302, whatever I said, and put a new coat of paint on. Put a new coat of paint on, and by that I mean go do something for yourself. Go fucking embrace the beauty that is you. Go embrace the energy that is you. Don't let other people put you in a spot where you're living your life according to a comment they made about you that they don't even remember. We live every day allowing people's remarks and people's judgments and people's, you know, looking down on us. That like stays right in the forefront. And instead of saying, I'm an amazing fucking person who's beautiful and caring and loving, and I have an amazing life, and my significant other loves me, or my kids love me, or I have a great job, or, you know, I do this, or this. We're focused on so-and-so told me that I looked anorexic the other day, and if I didn't eat something, no guy was ever going to want to marry me or do anything with me, period, because I'm so undesirable. Bitch, what? I have way more important things to focus on. I have way more important things to focus on. Like the fact that I'm raising 2 human beings. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But I'm doing my best. And I can't allow random shit to clog up the space in my head that keeps me from enjoying all the amazing things that I deserve to enjoy in life. So, ultimately, my point is that we can't allow other people's negative energy and negative behavior towards us to stay with us. Sometimes it's hard not to get your feelings hurt. Like, my feelings are hurt. My feelings were hurt when my mom told me I was bisexual. A, because she just randomly threw it out there. And B, because it made me think that if I really was bisexual, that would be it. Like, me and my mom wouldn't talk anymore. And then I go, and I'm like, it could be worse. You know, there's a lot of kids that actually go through that. Like, my mom would see that as a bad thing. My mom would see me as a bad person. Like, she wouldn't love me. She wouldn't be proud of me. And for a minute, I was sitting there going, oh my God, thank God I'm not bisexual. But then I had to check myself again, and I was like, no, who the fuck cares if I was bisexual? Why is that a thing that my mom is calling me panicking on? Not, oh, how are you? How are the boys? How's work? I know you're working really hard. How's it? No, oh my God, she's bisexual. Hell has frozen over. I'm not bisexual. Never have been. I like the D way too much. I'm 1D. I'm a 1D at a time kind of girl. I'm a commitment thing. In it to win it. All in. Whatever. All that gushy love stuff. But the fact that my mom used something like that to, you know, she didn't just call me and say, hey, you know, what's going on with you? Is there something we need to talk about? Or, hey, are you bisexual? No. It was a negative thing, and it hurt my feelings. Like, it hurt me. I was crushed because my mom saw me in a negative light, and it was an unfair negative light, and it was a ridiculous negative light, and there was no reason for her to be upset, but my feelings were hurt for a minute. They really were, and I can either dwell on that and have that in my head 24/7, like right in the front, that my mom doesn't like who I am as a person. She's accusing me of all these things that she thinks are negative. The fact that if I was any of those things, my mom might not love me anymore. It sucked. But instead I was like, you know, everything that she said I don't see as a negative. If I was bisexual, that's not an insult to me. Like, I don't see that as an insult. Oh, I'm bisexual? Okay. There's worse things in the world. Like, a shit ton of worse things. Like, a bazillion things. Having dirty feet is more of a negative than being bisexual, because bisexuality isn't negative, in my opinion, and she killed me for saying that. I've never openly said how I feel about homosexuality or the LGBT. Is there more letters than that? I'm sorry if I left one of them out. You know, like, I support it, and in my family that's not allowed, but I could have either dwelled on that, or I could say, you know what, my mom has her opinions and her views, and for some reason she's in a place in her life where she's lashing out at me because I go against everything that she believes, and it doesn't matter how respectful I am towards her about it or how many times I tell her that I love her. I can't let her negative energy rent space in my head because I've worked too hard to get where I am now. I'm in a positive place. I'm healthy. I feel great about myself. Every day, you know, every day when I wake up and I get dressed, I feel amazing. You know, I'm stronger, I'm healthier, I'm less stressed. I'm finally on this road that's taking me somewhere positive, And I can't let whatever she's going through right now, which I wish I could help her with, but until she sees that there's an issue, I can't. I can't let that stop me from progressing forward. I can't allow that negative energy be rooted so far inside my head that I'm letting it control my entire destiny or my energy. I don't want to be so upset and stressed that I'm lashing out at my kids, or I have no patience, or I'm treating my boyfriend like shit because I'm frustrated and hurt and I'm snappy and bitchy. And you know, I don't want to be that just because somebody else is in a place that's not positive and they push that in my direction. So we're not going to be all full at the end. Like, don't have your end full. If baby Jesus' mom comes knocking on your door and needs a room at the inn, you better have some empty space up there. And I'm saying, like, you can keep some shit in there. You can keep some shit in there. Like, the shit where sometimes you have to check yourself because you're feeling yourself too much and you're getting kind of cocky and you gotta roll back just a little bit. Keep that shit in that room when you need to calm your shit down a little bit because you're just too on fleek. Can't be too on fleek. That's bullshit. But I mean, you have to clear that out. I joke a lot and I make a lot of jokes because that's my anxiety. Talking, I'm a goofball because I have anxiety. And the only way I can be comfortable is if people are constantly laughing. So I make jokes about it, but it fucking sucks. It sucks when people judge you. It sucks when people tear you down. And it sucks when you have that in the back of your head, constantly second guessing yourself, constantly questioning yourself. And I did go through that for a minute. You know, what my mom was saying about me and all the text messages and all the bullshit. And then my mom's the type that calls like everybody in the family. So then everybody in the family is judging you as well. And you feel so overwhelmed and you're like, if my family can't accept me, or if my family doesn't just love me for who I am, even if they don't agree with everything I do, who will? And then I started to, I asked my boyfriend, I was like, am I a bad person? Am I going down? Like, you've known me since I got out of my abusive relationship till now. It's been 3 years. Am I turning into a negative person or an ugly person or somebody who needs to be put in check? Because if I am, put me in check. Like, if I'm going down a road that's not cool, that's not healthy for me or my kids, like, I expect people like my boyfriend and my best friend, Ashley, and my cousin, Lindsay, I expect those people to say, whoa, bitch, whoa, you need to dial it down. You know, that's what those people are for. But those are the people that always love me. Those are the people that even when I'm batshit crazy, or even when I'm having a hard time or going through something, or when I'm going through one of my depression spells, or those are the people that will know when I'm actually doing something that's not good for me. And not just because they're mad at me because they don't agree with me, but they know, Emily, this isn't good for you. Are you okay? You know, those are the people that I count on. So she was in there, and I literally asked my boyfriend, am I okay? Am I doing something wrong? Like, am I a bad mom? Because I'm the mom that my kids are going to be ashamed of when they find online and things like that. So, am I a bad mom? For the love of God, please tell me. This is what my mom said to me. So naturally, I let it sit up there and resonate and simmer. And it's like when you are making like instant rice on the stove, and you put the water and the butter and the milk, and then you pour the rice in, and it says stir it up and then turn it down on low so it can start to simmer and thicken up. Like, this bitch was thick. This bitch was thick in my head because I left her up there for so long, and then I finally just had to be like, you know what, out. It's all me and my boyfriend talked about. It's all me and my best friend talked about. I was stressed out. I was snapping at my kids. I had to get it away from me because ultimately it was affecting my everyday life. And you can't allow people who don't bring anything positive to the table, who can't accept you, you can't let them rent space in your head and be what you're focused on. Because then you just lose focus on everything else that's important. like yourself. And contrary to what these people say, you need to be able to focus on yourself because you're the most amazing thing God put on this planet. You have a purpose. You're useful. You're needed. You are here for a reason. Even if you don't know what the fuck that reason is right now. I don't know what the fuck that reason is right now for me. Other than to make sure that my kids are fed and cleaned. And can count and read, shit like that. And know what good music is. But we all have to make sure that we're constantly evicting that negative energy out of the rooms in our brains. Because all of that space that's being taken up could be emptied so you can start learning more confidence, more self-love, more kindness and patience towards others. You'll have room to embrace other things that are more important to you and your passions, and maybe you'll learn how to do something even more fun and enjoyable than what you're doing now. Because think, if you have all of that off your shoulders and you can put all of that energy into a more positive place, who knows what you could accomplish. Whether it's taking over the world or something as beautiful as loving yourself. Really loving yourself. That's important. That's really important. So that's my Monday coffee video. I hope it made sense. I don't really know what I'm going to say when I get on here. Stuff usually happens to me throughout the week and I'm like, I'm going to touch base on that. I'm going to talk about that. But I never really know what I'm going to say. When you sit in front of a camera and you have so many people that you know are waiting for you to post this, you're like, I want to say something that helps them. So I just use what's going on in my life because of that. If it's helping me, hopefully it helps you. Hopefully I find somebody to help me with this hair. I'm at that awkward stage where it's like, do I grow it out? Do I cut it off short? This is just in my face, so I've rolled it. I have a tiny little ponytail up here. It looks like a fucking troll doll. But it's kind of fun. Yeah. So remember, guys, every Monday morning, Monday Coffee with the Doll, we'll reflect, we'll talk. If you guys want me to touch base on something, leave it in the comments below. If there's a topic you want to hear my opinion on, or a subject or a situation you're going through, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Remember, if this video helps you or you think it can help others, remember to give it a thumbs up, like it, and subscribe so you don't miss any more of my shenanigans. And feel free to share and help empower the rest of the world. Know that I love your faces so, so much. So, so much. You guys don't even fucking know how much I just love you. I'll be back Monday. Remember, on Wednesday is going to be a Daily Dose of Doll. I am going to be ranting about... Dun, dun, dun! Get ready for it. I'm going to be ranting how if it's a woman's body and she has the right to choose, why is it that when she decides and chooses to do something like breast implants, lip injections, or getting her nose done, all of a sudden, it ain't that bitch's body no more and everybody has something to say about it. So we're going to get down and dirty, talk about the real topic, talk about whatever the fuck we want, how we feel about it. So I will see you guys on Wednesday. Know that I love your faces, and remember, you will always be in style if you continue to just be your beautiful, beautiful self. So I'm Emily Doll. This was Monday Morning Coffee with this chick right here. Know that I love you, and we're out. All right.